Hi, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Louisa, and I just wanted to talk to you today about my respite. It doesn't feel quite right to say my respite. It's very much a co-creation, actually. Our respite, um, a small team of co-facilitators and participants are going to come together in the beautiful Sunshine Coast, Queensland, Australia in April. And I just wanted to let you know about it in case you are living in the area, or even if you're anywhere from Australia, you might still be able to come. And yeah, we would very much welcome any guests from afar. Um, what is it? So last year we ran what I now call the Sanctuary in the Forest. And the idea behind it is to allow some very sacred, special time, a time and a space to integrate and restore and heal from experiences that have been maybe labeled psychosis or mania, or what I like to loosely call non-ordinary states of consciousness. So non-ordinary states of consciousness is really anything that's kind of an extreme state of consciousness, an altered state of consciousness, something that you went through that you really have struggled to perhaps reconcile within yourself. You might have, it might have been a fearful experience for you where you went through very difficult, challenging things like hearing scary voices or seeing things or feeling extremely afraid. You might have felt like your whole world was tipped upside down and that you no longer knew what to believe in. You might have felt your identity shattering, collapsing, and these really deep existential questions coming up, such as, who am I? And how do I operate now in this world, given that everything that I once believed in has come crashing down? So the experiences that I'm talking about, these altered states of consciousness and psychoses, are notoriously frightening. And even in the mental health system, you probably, unless you were really lucky, you probably didn't encounter an awful lot of understanding or validation of what you were going through. It's very common to receive messages that, you know, you have a mental illness and you just need some medication and there's nothing else that can really be done for you. I know that many people who experience this and get a label of schizophrenia are often not even given therapy to talk about it. So it can be hard to find those spaces where you feel really safe to share an experience that is often so outside of the norm of a normal person, like normal experiences of ordinary people. That's what I should say. Not that you're not normal, but yeah, it can be extremely hard to find someone that can really sit in validation, non-judgment, that is perhaps not afraid to go into those darker stories with you to try and unpack it and see what the gifts are. So yeah, so I've offered this respite as a space for that. Partly it's to do with validation, and it's a small group and we all have lived experience, myself, my co-facilitators and all the participants of this. So on some level we will get it, even if we don't completely get it. You know, we can never fully understand what another person's experience is, but we can certainly sit with them and understand it enough. So there's that component. And then the second component is really teaching you through whatever means possible. And it's not just me teaching, it's nature is teaching us while we're there. It's my co-facilitators, it's the other peer workers. You know, in the true peer spirit, we teach each other. So there will be a lot of teaching, whether informal or formal. There are a group program which is semi-structured. It's not too rigorous. We don't make you learn from like 9:30 to 4:30 every day or anything. It's enough learning so that you gain some insight if you need some explanation for what you went through. I have a whole teaching on the worldviews of psychosis, which I share on the respite, which allows you to sort of pick and choose what you think it was for you, and allows you to see the breadth, the holistic breadth of explanations that there actually is for these experiences, as far as at least that I've been able to research and find. And then we can discuss that together and allow it to be food for thought. You'll have plenty of time to digest as well, to really kind of reflect on your experiences, to journal, to draw, to walk in nature, to do what you need to do. So it's a really nice balance of activity and alone time or rest time. While, you know, if you want to talk, there's also lots of people around to talk. You can always call on your buddy that you might be sharing a cabin with, or the facilitators. We're there 24/7. We're in it with you. So the other thing that we teach, not just worldviews, but importantly, we all teach each other and we learn from each other. We're learning skills on how to stay grounded, how to manage the turbulent and sometimes really intense energy that can run through us. You know, I believe that people who experience these extreme states are actually gifted, very sensitive, gifted souls who might be receiving a lot of downloads from the cosmos or guidance from higher dimensions or lower dimensions, right? You can tune into all sorts of worlds with this expanded state of consciousness. And we want to learn how to navigate that safely, learn how to walk between worlds carefully and mindfully, and making sure that we are well and functioning. Because there's no point in being able to access higher states of consciousness if you can't stay grounded and look after yourself, because as you may well know from your experience, that can lead to, you know, all sorts of drama and chaos in your life, and distress for you and people around you. And sometimes in the extreme stories, you'll get involuntary treatments and involuntary medications and things that you perhaps didn't want. So I'd love to help you to work out how to use your gifts safely in a measured way, how to integrate these things, how to depathologize your experiences. And even if they were an illness to an extent, right? You may have been very, very ill. There are so many things that you can still take out of that experience that you can then use later in your life. And sensitivity is one of them. Empathy, your ability to tune into energies, your ability to communicate with plants and animals or angels or cosmos or God, you know. And I sometimes I see something that really breaks my heart, which is people having gone through these experiences find that they don't trust them anymore because of psychosis or something really negative that happened to you. You may not trust yourself anymore, or know really what to believe. Or when you do get that guidance, how do you know if it's true or not? You know, so your discernment might need to be just tuned a bit, so that you can use these gifts. If for those of you who don't want to ever open yourself up to those kinds of energies, that's fine as well, because our focus on the respite is to be grounded. We don't do anything psychoactive. There's no plant medicines or you know, holotropic breath work or anything like that. We sometimes use music and sound to help us ground, but it isn't to activate. The idea is to really, really tune our energy into Mother Nature. And probably my most powerful and unpaid ally on the whole, well, it's not unpaid because I suppose I'm paying for the venue, but you know, unacknowledged perhaps sometimes, that the co-creator that I'm working with here, that I'm talking about, is Mother Earth herself. So, you know, she just can hold us, and she can hold all of our emotions and all of our concerns and worries and problems and dissolve them if we consciously allow that to happen and surrender into the power and the support that we can get from nature. So on that note, we'll be going this time into a very large space of 400 acres of beautiful forested property with trails and waterfalls and waterways for us to use and explore. And we'll have the whole property to ourselves, apart from the owners that live there, but there's no other guests at the time that we're staying. unless you stay the fourth night. There might be some other guests then. So how I've arranged the program is there's 3 main nights, and that's what I call the main program. And over that time, we'll be doing, a welcoming ceremony at the beginning so that we can all meet each other and connect to the land and set our intentions. And then we move into, as I mentioned, a kind of a relaxed rhythm of some teaching on worldviews, learning some skills to balance energy, reflection time. And there'll be also special time to tell our stories to each other in conscious, mindful ways, in supportive ways that help us let go of those stories that, maybe were painful and scary, but we've now learned what we needed to, and we can let the painful stuff go and we can just take the gifts. So, so we'll be doing a little, I guess you could call it like a attunement with the land. When we do that, we'll use the natural features of the land to support that healing, that letting go. And we'll be having a little bit of fun as well. So I'm not going to tell you all the details of all of the things that we're going to do, because otherwise I'll ruin any surprises. But suffice to say, I will do my absolute best to create a safe environment for all of us, a non-judgmental environment, somewhere where you can co-create with me. There's no coercion. You don't have to participate in some of the group activities, because I know that for some of you, even just getting to a respite like this will be a big deal. And I deeply respect your journey and your needs at that time. So if you find that you come and all you really want to do is just hang out in your cabin on the veranda looking at the beautiful view, then, that's okay as well, because I, I think there is enough force and coercion and pushing of ideas onto people in the mental health system. And I want to be doing the opposite. I want to provide freedom and respect of your boundaries and really help you to speak your needs and what you need. So as long as you're not harming anyone else, we are very happy for you to create this respite for yourself as you need it. But yeah, that invitation is there to enjoy the group time, to enjoy conversations, to learn from each other. So last time it was a very healing and transformative experience for people who came. We have a few testimonies on the website, and for myself as well, I felt it was extremely deep work that we did, and that is one reason I'm so excited to offer it again. I have quite a long YouTube video explaining all the, I guess you could say, like the nuts and bolts of it, which if you're watching this as, I don't know, more of an academic minded person, you're interested in the social work theory of it, you're very welcome to watch it, and I'll post the link below. But be warned, it's a bit long. I did that for the International Conference for Psychosis, so it's an academic kind of note style. But for anyone else and you just have some questions, feel free to connect with me via my website. We've still got a few spaces available. And yeah, I really hope to see some of you out there connecting with me here on the beautiful Sunshine Coast for a journey of healing, transformation, and integration. Thank you so much. Namaste.